This is the Land Rover Defender 90, that short version in the all-new Defender generation, and we will solve the question, is this the best Land Rover you can buy? Is it still the most unique and most iconic one? And would I even buy one over a Mercedes G-Class? Let's find out here together. With Thomas and Autogefühl, let's go! Now 20 centimeters or 8 inches wider than the predecessor. Now no leather frame anymore, aluminum unibody structure. And independent suspension, well, this one has nothing in common with the predecessor. But what does it have in common with the Land Rover or even Range Rover brothers? We'll find out, especially in the driving part. A strong styling here, so upright, so angular. That still makes it so extremely unique on the market overall. LED headlamps are standard, optional also matrix LED, and a Tasman blue color for today. Not quite a Thomas blue, but as Thomas blue as it gets for the moment. Still a very unique color indeed. Yeah, thinking about the Tasman Sea, why not? And the nice silver contrast in the lower part. Styling wise, yeah, it's still the angular Land Rover styling, and I think as good as it gets here in their lineup, isn't it? What's your take on that? And a special styling also for the turning indicators, already here in the front. Really fancy, isn't it? Something different. And for an even more unique look, you can also get these contrasting plates here in the metal plate style. It is hard plastic though, but really accounts for a more rugged look here already in the front. Who thinks this side profile, this vehicle here, looks like a toy car from the 90s? Join me in the comments. 4.58 meters or 180 inches is the length here of the Defender 90. If you would go for the longer and also longer wheelbase, Defender 110, you have here additional 44 centimeters or 18 inches plus. That would be, the additional length right there. This one, of course, so interesting because basically in the front you have a full-size off-roader, a full-size SUV, but then with compact SUV dimensions and length. This is, of course, a very unique position on the market overall. 18-inch steel wheels we have here. Just so loved in the contrasting white style. Also, you can get a white contrasting roof. This is just so amazing, because that's how it's supposed to be with the Defender. You can go up to 22-inch aluminum wheels meanwhile, but what for? That's not how it's meant to be, isn't it? And suspension-wise, in the European market, you can start with a steel suspension for the 90 Defender. Optional and air suspension, that is already included in the US market. We also have it here today. Of course, the air suspension adds even more off-road capability because you can pump it up, y'all. And when you put that air suspension all the way up, you have 38 degrees approaching angle, 40 degrees descending angle. The ground clearance, 29 centimeters or 11 inches, and 90 centimeters or 35 inches wading depth. A very impressive styling also for the rear, and hardly ever on the market we still find this upright building style for the rear. And squircle tail lamps right here, and the typical side opening here for the rear hatch because we have the replacement tire right here. And by the way, if you're interested in off-roading this one here or also the longer version, we also have a video with a special on that. The turning indicators in the rear are, by the way, right here. Oh, ain't that cute. The key is not premium at all, not to my liking, but really solid and big door handles and door closing sound. That sounds great. Inside of the door with a, let's say, neoprene-like texture here, also soft. Similar material is also used by Mercedes in their new EQS and the EQE. Really cool. Feels really nice indeed. And then these real screw applications to give this rugged look once again. Also here at the inside of the dashboard. And they once said when they presented it at IAA Motor Show 2019, I think it was, here that they could actually hang the whole car just, right here and let it fly through the air basically, just on a rope. So they didn't do it for safety reasons, but theoretically it's possible, they say. Interesting that the back part position is controlled right here. So that's unusual, but why not? It's actually quite practical. Seating position in the front, very comfortable, upright, king of the road driving position. So that's what I say. In the front you have this full-size SUV or full-size off-roader feeling, but still you have compact dimensions. That's so lovely about the Land Rover Defender 90. And a very nice option you can get here is the front jump seat. Either you have these cup holes in the front, or you can push it up and then you have a third seat in the front. Sitting there is Not ideal, but it's definitely a lot of fun with 3 people here in the front. Let me test that actually. You know, it's a meme here when people say like minute 6:33, Thomas in the back seat when I'm fitting into a very small vehicle. But yeah, that's maybe like today the time code with Thomas in the jump seat. Looking forward to that. Yeah, that's indeed really funny. It does fit headroom wise, but with my knees here, what the hell? Yeah, but still a lot of fun, and yeah, maybe for the kids it might be something interesting, but they need to be like, you know, in the proper size in between, so no child seat, but then again not too tall, so yeah, definitely limited use. Hey, get away with the knee, I need to use the shifting lever. This area is, by the way, also really amazing. Another grab handle here for the passenger and Defender stamped in there. Really, you know, rugged materials, but that's totally fine. At the same time, they have a mix, because here this neoprene style soft fabric is once again here. It feels so nice, and also here at the lower part of the dash. Once again, this interior overview with the square look inside, that is just so amazing. I really love that. Then the shifting lever in an easy position. Here also the infotainment system, 10-inch, you can reach that very well. Apple CarPlay you can see here, and that sound system is not too bad, but also nothing special indeed. And it's really great that we still have manual climate dials here, left and right. If you press this, you can control the vent strength. And when the engine is running, you can also press this one here and then control the seat heating, for example, with that. Then the air suspension is set here, all the off-road driving commands, you know, gear reduction and so on. So this is all available right here. And the shifting lever, once again, is a very cool truck-like place, something like that. Really happy also with this unit. In the infotainment system itself, you rather use the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Integration is good, because other than that, the normal main menu is really slow. You have this interesting off-road information, that's quite cool, with the angles and so on, that's nice. Other than that, here the normal system looks like this. Map is, yeah, responsive enough, I would say. That's actually okay, but when you browse through the rest of the menu, sometimes it looks a little bit old school and laggy. On the steering wheel, here you have the volume control, but that's, you know, feeling really cheap. And on the right side, you set the cruise control. Instruments here today, a mix of analog, left and right, and digital then in the middle part. So why not actually? And you have digital speed in the middle part. That's all enough. You can also get full digital instruments, but these ones are cooler, aren't they? And the lower part of the jump seat, or the back part, depending on, has more charging possibilities. You slide the seat forward here to get in the back, and then you can fold up these head restraints. That's a quite good solution, because you know, when they are down, you have a better visibility. Here in the middle seat, you can still sit as a tall L. That's possible, although it's, you know, still somewhat cramped. Headroom wise, with 1.86 or 6'1", once again, no problem here at all overall in the vehicle. Really nice, these additional windows here. Again, you know, this creates such a unique atmosphere to have these windows here. Good traveling feeling. And even if I'm here behind my driver's seat, it does fit with the legroom. So indeed, it is suitable for 5 tall adults, plus jump seat, whoever is supposed to sit there, indeed. Oh, and what's here underneath the passenger seat? Oh, here's the car battery. And here we have that side opening, so unique. The downside, of course, of the short version is the length here is at 40 centimeters or 16 inches. That's extremely short. You can see here this cabin trolley does fit in, but it's actually quite high here overall. This is just like, you know, this cover here, you can easily remove it, and then you have this rugged plastic or thing in a metal skid look here at the back part, and also here at the lower part, really rugged indeed. And then you fold the seats from here already like this, also with the ski hatch is possible, like this split, or then all the way like this. So let me remove this as well, and then you can see you have, you know, a big area still left. But you have this step there. That's of course a bad thing to have. Otherwise, if that wouldn't exist here, then you could easily just push all the things through, and the trunk would be, you know, as easy to use as with the long version. In that way, of course, still has a disadvantage, of course. But the coolest thing are square dimensions here for the height. 90 centimeters or 35 inches in the height. That's amazing. And here in the width, it's about 1 meter or 40 inches. And that's really great for gardening work, like put in big packs or something like this. And here the length then overall to the front seats, we're at about 130 centimeters or 50 inches. And I'll show you a nice trick how to unfold the seats again from the trunk. It's like pulling in the anchor like this. Just use the seat belt. Engine choices: a 2-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine, 3-liter 6-cylinder, or 5-liter V8 supercharged. Whoa, that in this vehicle we will test it at a later stage. And there's also the diesel available, a 3-liter 6-cylinder, the small diesel not available anymore. Welcome to Thomas's Retro Driving Lounge with the Land Rover Defender 90, that short version. And this is indeed the Defender, as I said earlier, as I would spec it. And the main thing here is this vehicle does still deliver you the typical Land Rover driving experience. That's the most important aspect. And that means you have a huge steering wheel. It is not bad at all. It has always some input, but it has this off-road characteristic. That means you have to steer a lot, because that's actually important in off-road driving, that the steering wheel doesn't go all over the place, for example, when you are hitting some bumps and so on and so on. Then this one here equipped with the optional air suspension, which is standard in the US, but for the base entry-level versions, the 90 Defender in Europe, for example, you can also start with a normal steel suspension, but the air suspension here does a great job. It makes it more off-road capable. On demand, you can pump it up, y'all, and it just gives you this super unique soft ride, and that's what I want. So when I buy a Land Rover, and especially a Defender here, I want that off-road kind of experience. Even if I would take it, never in any off-road situation, just drive it on the road, I want to feel the off-road experience, and that's what this vehicle here is still delivering. Yes, it is completely different if you compare it to the old Defender, but still it is the Land Rover that still delivers you that off-road experience in the most way. So the car is leaning, shaking a little bit, and also these smaller wheels make the ride just more comfortable. And I want that, This car feels like steering a ship, although it is the short version. So it still delivers you such a unique driving experience, the most unique one in the Land Rover lineup. I just love that. This car gives you the feeling, it doesn't matter if I'm driving on the road now, if I just make a left turn and go across this field, I would not care, and the car wouldn't care either. That's the thing that is transported in the driving experience here, even if you just drive it on the road. Fuel economy, by the way, here for the 3-liter 6-cylinder diesel. Oh, there's a Range Rover coming. Range Rover Sport it was. So it's about 10 liters or more kilometers, so 20-something mpg US, close to 30 mpg UK. Of course, you can also get the petrol engines, as I said earlier, with the 4, 6 or 8 cylinders. The 6-cylinder petrol engine would probably the best compromise between fun and still not that high fuel consuming like the 8-cylinder. That will go nuts in the consumption. The diesel here, it's not that fuel saving, but of course also not that exceeding as you compare the petrol engines. It's nice, smooth running. You hardly hear that engine, and they also have improved the noise dampening, of course, here on this new model. No comparison to the old Defender at all. And also, if you compare to the rest of the Land Rover lineup, this one is very well insulated, so that's actually quite cool. And I love this upright A-pillar, for example. Once again, this is still this is an honest vehicle, and it's not pretentious at all. So if you also compare it to the Mercedes G-Class, that's the main difference. The G-Class is definitely, it is still off-road capable with, corresponding tires and so on. But mostly, like a show-off road vehicle and used for short trips inside the city. That's what the G-Class is meanwhile basically for. Not saying that this one won't be used for that either, and why not? You can do that, sure. But you can get this one here at half the price of a G-Class, and it's not pretentious at all. That's the thing, especially here in this equipment. You could also spec a rather pretentious Defender and make it like super expensive and so on. But this one here definitely, that's why I'm so happy that we got this kind of based version of the Defender for you today. I love that, and that's exactly the way you should actually buy it. Now we're getting on the motorway and show you more about how does it handle actually at higher speeds. Now acceleration from 40 kilometers an hour, let's go. That's 120, 140, 150, and well, 60 kilometers an hour. Quite decent torque here from that 6-cylinder diesel, and I really love that it has the 200 horsepower version. So it's still one of the very rare vehicles you can get with low horsepower while it has big displacement. That's also really good for the for the long-term durability of an engine. Here, 150 kilometers an hour, of course wind noise is picking up because of that upright building form of that vehicle. That's no wonder. So it's still okay, it's still okay, I would say. Like a very comfortable experience, it would be more like at 130 kilometers an hour, so like 70, 80 miles an hour or something. What about lane change when at a higher speed here? It's not too bad. I mean, we have the air suspension and the small tires, but the car doesn't lean up too much. So actually they found a very nice compromise there, that it doesn't feel that shaky at higher speeds. I would have thought it felt shakier at higher speeds, so that is actually very well done. You can see not much ambient lighting going on here, and I'm really surprised how well this also handles with the 18-inch small wheels here on the road. Yeah, once again, very well done. And I can just say also, driving-wise, if you compare it to the other Land Rover and even the Range Rover models, this is just the Land Rover model overall that also delivers you the most driving fun. And once again, a Land or Range Rover will never deliver you the best driving agility fun. They're not made for that, and the competition is just too big. Especially like BMW and Audi, they just can do it better, and Land Rover or Range Rover will never beat them in the agile driving dynamics. But this off-road feeling here, they still have the vehicle for that. And that's what you get, and that's just so lovely about this vehicle, and still makes it so extremely unique. And yes, especially considering the price and this, and the image factor and the freedom experience, off-road experience factor this car delivers. Yes, I would get it over the G-Class. And of course, for me, even more important than I can get this one as it is here. Just animal-free on the interior with very comfortable seats that are also breathable. Such a great advantage if you compare it to the G-Class. If you want to compare it to the G-Class, check out our G-Class review. And of course also our Defender 110 review with a longer version. That one also with a big off-road driving part. See you there.